Of course, Cat Williams brought up the whole thing about whenever the black guys wear the dress, and all of a sudden they career goes sky high. How do you feel about what Marlon Williams said in his interview about whenever black men wear a dress and his whole point about that? Did you see that?
I mean, yeah, I did see that,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I'm on the fence with that because I do know for a fact that I can't say for a fact, but I do know that there's such thing as called buck breaking, and
Mm-hmm.
that stems from slavery.
Okay.
Where the most powerful slave was emasculated in front of his peers
Mm-hmm.
to send a message to the rest of them that if you try to get out of line, this is what's going to happen to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in Hollywood, they say that this is a form of buck breaking. Buck, I'm saying buck, not butt. Buck breaking.
Right.
And in order to move to that next level, then this is what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not really a coincidence in most cases. Everything is not coincidence. It is a reason that comes behind it or a reason for it.
Right.
But these individuals have to choose to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kat said, he chose not to do that. He has not wore a dress.
Yeah, he did. Kevin
Cat
Hart?
Williams wore a
Oh,
dress?
Cat Williams. I thought you said Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
said
Go ahead.
Cat Williams.
Yeah. My fault.
Cat
Yeah.
Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, and Kevin Hart wore a dress on SNL. I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
I haven't. And so this is another thing. I have not seen any of those type of roles in any movies that he's played.
True.
So that's a stretch in what Cat Williams said.
Okay.
Like, yes, he wore a dress on SNL, but every other role, I haven't seen him.
But would you use that as the SNL dress wearing situation after that? You kind of started to get more major movie roles and more box office films and things of that nature. Because before that, all he had was Soul Plane.
This was recent that he wore a dress. This was like the last 2 years. This was recent. Like I know within the last 3 years for sure.
Let's look it up. But go, you can keep talking.
Yeah, I just feel I'm on the fence with it because, like, I do know that was a thing. That was a form of buck breaking, and it just transitioned.
When was it, D-Lo?
Wasn't within 3 years?
2013.
When he was on SNL with a dress?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
March 4th, 2013.
Well, I apologize. I thought that was recent. So then he only had Soul Plane. Soul Plane was
Soul Plane. Let me see what Soul Plane came out. But that was like one of the only movies he was in, other than 40-Year-Old Virgin, when he was that small part in the electronics store. But when the Soul Plane hit.
Okay. Well, I apologize.
Soul Plane was 2004. So 10 years ago. So 10 years after that's when he wore the dress. So, I mean, you can speculate whatever you want to speculate, whatever.
Yeah,
but
no, whatever. I mean, yeah. So I mean, I just feel I'm on the fence with it because I know it's a form of buck breaking. But these individuals had to choose to wear those dresses. They while there is stigmas in Hollywood, and all that stuff, they do have to sign off on it. If they read through the script, they get to read through the script before everything is done. There may be some changes here and there, but when they read it, if they are okay with, all right, I'm gonna wear a dress, then that's on them. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know we talked about selling your soul and all that stuff a couple of weeks ago. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, hey,
yeah, it is what it is.
I don't know. I don't know enough about every individual that wore a dress to talk about it. I know that Marlon said that it's a big thing in our culture of wearing a dress. And you don't see other coaches getting up in a fence about up in arms about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about Robin Williams. He talked about Patrick Swayze. He talked about all those individuals. But it's always our culture. I mean, and that's the thing. We always, when it comes to like finances and sticking together, stuff like that, we always say, well, why we can't be like other cultures? But when it comes to stuff of entertainment and stuff like that, we try to be different. I don't know. We're conflicted sometimes. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that, but if we're gonna be together, we have to be together.
True. And just to kind of close it out a little bit, I mean, Marlon Wayans did say that, you know, the conversation on putting the dresses is silly. He said whenever you're an artist, you have to have a different mindset. And he said it's about the art, not the persona that society puts on you wearing a dress. It's literally for the art of being a performer, being an entertainer, being an actor, or being an actor. I was gonna say actress, but actresses are thought to wear dresses. But like, so I think it's silly too. But I mean, at this point, Cat Williams put out what he put out. And again, like I said, a lot of the evidence that people are trying to do to back Cat Williams is looking like leaning towards he's telling the truth. But the fact that he spoke about people other than the people who harmed him is what Dave Chappelle has the problem with, and that's the issue. That's the issue that it has. Yeah.
The last thing I'll say, because it just popped in my mind, is the only problem that I have with it is representation matters, right? And we always say that. And up until a couple years ago, I wouldn't say a couple years ago, but recent history of film and entertainment, TV and movies and stuff, us in a positive light on camera and movies wasn't always a thing. Like most times we played the drug dealer, the gang member, somebody shady, something like that. There were very few roles where the black person was the hero and all of that stuff up until recently. Like there's been a shift in that, so to speak. Now, but then you put us in dresses. That's like, is that all we're good for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is to do those type of roles, or are you implying that our race is full of that community? And that's not the case. So I mean, that's why I say I'm conflicted with it, because there are many different messages and ways that you can go about that. But again, like you said, and like Marlon said, is the art of being an actor. So, but I'm sure. Well, did Marlon play a gay?
He was in White Chicks.
Role? I knew he wore a dress, but did he play a gay role?
I don't think so. But one thing I will say is that Marlon usually writes the scripts or writes the roles for a lot of his parts too. So him and his family writes them. So he has a little bit, because most people go into a part trying to gain the role, while Marlon has the artistic power to write the roles and cast himself. So he casted himself for White Chicks. So there you go. And that's a classic movie. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like it won't funny, like it won't great, but there is a stigma behind a lot of things. And like he said, our culture puts a little bit more of a negative on that, on our black men wearing a dress, as opposed to other cultures putting on theirs. So it is what it is at this point, man. Do what y'all do, man. I ain't the one to judge. I'm not judging y'all. Shit, if it's funny, it's funny. You know what I'm saying? I ain't that type of guy. So yeah. Oh, y'all still here. So that must mean you love the content. And if that is the case, there's a video on the screen right here. Go ahead and click that, view that. We think you're going to love that one as well. And we still have our 600 subscriber goal. So there's a button on the screen right here. Go ahead and click that to subscribe to the channel. And we're on all your streaming platforms, wherever you find your podcasts.